Ordered the Trump administration to make fully funded November SNAP payments for the millions of Americans who receive food stamps.
Fox 12's Leah Kamenaw joins us now in studio. And Leah, the judge ordered those payments be made to states by today, despite the government shutdown.
That's right, Kim and Shauna, and we got word this morning from Governor Tina Kotek's office that all 750,000 Oregonians have received their SNAP benefits. And we have heard from viewers in Washington that they too have received their full SNAP benefits. But just into our newsroom, the Trump administration is seeking an emergency pause to yesterday's ruling. That ruling came from a federal judge in Rhode Island in response to a challenge from cities and nonprofits complaining that the administration was only offering to cover 65% of the maximum benefit, a decision that would have left some recipients getting nothing for the month of November. And during Thursday's hearing, the judge said the administration had not acted quickly enough to release those funds. Prior to the ruling, the nearly 750,000 Oregonians who received SNAP were still in limbo, unsure of what would happen. And the worry and struggle many are experiencing was evident with the long lines at several area food pantries. This pantry, a joint effort between Crosswalk Church and Portland Adventist Community Services, saw more than 100 people show up. And we spoke with the associate pastor of Crosswalk Portland, who says no matter what happens moving forward, they will be here to continue to serve.
No matter what happens, we are going to do our best to serve every person who walks through our doors or drives through our parking lot. We don't know what's in the future, but we're doing our best to fundraise and stay on top of it.
Now, while those in Oregon have received their full SNAP benefits, that's not the case in other states around the country. According to the Associated Press, the reason for this may be that some states acted more quickly following the ruling. And in a press release just released by Governor Kotek's office, that's exactly what happened here, with the Oregon Department of Human Services working through the night to ensure Oregonians got those benefits. As mentioned, the Trump administration is seeking an emergency pause to this court order. At this time, we are not sure what that will mean for payments moving forward, but we will continue to follow all developments and bring you those updates both on air and online. Reporting in studio, Leah Kamenaw, Good Day Oregon.